Just see how many people come and join us. I decided to hop on a little bit earlier just in case there was any issues with logging on. I can see the number climbing already. Welcome, you guys. You're early. Okay, so just so you guys know, this is my very first Zoom webinar. So I am really praying that this goes off without a hitch. If you guys want, if you guys could email me, if you haven't already, email me your questions, and I do have my other computer where I'm going to be able to read them from and be able to answer. And I've gotten some really good questions so far, so I can't wait to start this in a few minutes. Hi, everybody who's already online. Thanks for popping on early. This is pretty neat, actually. It's a really cool way for us all to stay connected. So this is neat. Tanya Poitras. Ooh, I can allow you guys to talk. Okay, Tanya. Hi. Tanya, can you hear me? Tanya.
Oh no. Hi.
That's me. It said that you raised your hand, so I'm like, okay, we have a few minutes before 4.
Do you hear me?
No, I couldn't. I've muted everybody so I can do the talk, but I can hear you now, and I'm sure everyone else can. So we'll just have to make sure there's no F-bombs.
Oh, this is cool.
It's pretty neat, hey?
It took me like I was messaging you because I'm like, I don't know how to work this. I don't know how to do any of this.
But you just click on the link. Was it easy? Like you literally just click on the link and it brought you here, or no?
Yeah, and then, well, you have to put in your info? The info and everything else, and the class number and seminar like number.
Oh.
And by the time I figured it out, I was like, oh, this is easy.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because for me, it was actually really easy to set this up, but sometimes, well, usually for me, it's kind of like math. If it's too easy, it's wrong.
Right. Same.
So I'm really hoping that it was actually as easy as it looked. I see we've already got 19 people online with us, so that's awesome. We will have 80 people joining us. 80 people. So I was told to turn off all of the cameras, or else 80 people and their homes would show up. So turn that off. Let's see, I'm getting a message, so let's see, hang on. Oh, yeah, thanks, Rebecca. She sent me a message. You look so pretty. I love you. Okay, so do you have a question that I can answer even before we start, or you just wanted to say hi? Because I don't really know how this works. But I'll talk to you, honey.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, I honestly, I gotta go. I just found out a couple of days ago, and it's put me in the slump, but I have to go for surgery on the 24th, and it stressed me right out.
Is it in the practices?
But I think it's just
Tanya.
Yeah.
Is it in the breast?
Yes.
Okay. You're gonna be fine. You are. You're gonna be just fine. I promise you that. But in order to not have that come back and vibrate at a higher level, because it literally has to do with illness in the body is disease that started from somewhere, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so make sure that when you come out of there, you're doing a lot of healing on the mother connection, because the breast is always connected to our female side. If there's any issues that we've had with our mom, it's weird how our body and what goes on, it screams at us on what it is that we need to fix, right? It's just like anger or liver. So for people who have liver issues and want to raise their vibration, you got to breathe that light into the liver. So Tanya, you've been to my meditations and stuff before. Breathe light into that area and literally see it blasting any bad cells. Just breathe that light right in.
Oh, I think it'll, yeah.
You're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I promise you, you're gonna be okay. And come see me for Rife after. Like, I'll show you the before and after pictures of everything from warts to a cancerous tumor that we blasted off a guy's neck. Like, Rife is amazing. It really, really is. It's vibrational therapy, right?
Yeah.
So it's, just come see me after for that.
Okay. I will, for sure.
But don't enter it with fear. Just if you can detach from the emotion so that you can get through it, and then we'll focus on the healing of it and the raising up. And when I do the healing meditations, I'll be blasting you. I will be blasting you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love you, girl. I'm glad you're here tonight.
Too.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I needed this.
I'm glad.
We all do.
I'm glad that we're all here together.
Right.
You know, because at the end of the day, we are all going through it together.
Yeah, you know? We're all in the same boat.
Totally. Yeah. So Tanya, you know, if you ever need anything, you can always call me.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay,
you look stunning, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Like, I better curl my hair. Funniest thing in the world is what people notice. The other week, so you know, I was doing those healing meditations every night to global healing meditations on Facebook. Well, the night that I didn't curl my hair, I had about 6 different emails going, Patricia, are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. And then when I accidentally wore black because everything had been worn in my closet, and so I wore a black sweater. I did that too. Patricia, are you okay? You never wear black, ever.
That is funny.
So it's funny when people think, it's like, no, I just had nothing else in my closet. And the day I didn't curl my hair is because I woke up late. But I love that people care. So I curled for you. I come to worry you. Yeah. Okay, it's 3:59. I guess I better start this thing. So hang on one second. I just want to see. There was 3 other people that said that they wanted to chat or Q&A. I'm learning this. Can you share anything about why I procrastinate? I can do that. Let's talk first. Let's talk. So Tanya, how do I get out of you? Hold on. I gotta maybe mute you and then go back.
Mute me, yeah.
Okay, hold on. And then how do I go back to the other window before I mute you? Will it just take you down?
I think you have to go under chat. There you go.
Okay, hold on one sec. Okay, muted you. And then, who do I go back? Gallery view. Okay, let's take 10. Oh, I don't want to remove you from the group. Hold on. Tanya?
Yeah?
How do I, okay, so I can see me and I can see where it says Tanya, right?
Yeah.
How do I close the Tanya portion, but without,
maybe lower. Is it under chat?
Well, I'm looking under chat. Brent Martin said, Brent, I need you.
Right?
He's totally helping me with this. Okay, right click and devote to attendee. Oh, cool. Okay, hold on. Right click. And it says mute audio, disable talking, remove, rename, hide non-video participants. Okay. Bye, hon.
Bye.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Thank you guys so much for coming. If we could do me a favor and just have everybody mute their microphone while I do the talk. And then we're all in this together. So you can fire your questions at me either through email, or if you put up your hand, apparently I can unmute you and hear what you have to say. So that is super cool. Thank you guys so much for coming and joining me for this webinar today, because we are all in this together. And a lot of you guys have a lot of questions about what is going on right now. in our world. And I want to talk to you guys about what is really going on, the spiritual meaning of COVID, how this affects us in so many ways from mind, body, soul, and up, because it is like a ripple effect. And if we feed into the fear and the mass hysteria that the media is pumping out there, it's not going to be good. So we need to be able to come together as light workers, plug in, get centered again, start using the tools that are in our toolbox, and be able to raise the vibrational frequency of this planet, because that actually is what's happening right now. If you look at something called the Schumann Resonance, the Schumann Resonance is Mother Nature's heartbeat. And the greatest, I guess, scientific explanation for it, it says every second, a multitude of pulses travel around the world in this unique resonant chamber between Earth and the ionosphere, sending colluding signals to all microorganisms. These signals couple us to the Earth's magnetic field. Named after its discoverer, these Schumann resonances drive the harmonizing pulse for life in our world. So there's a science behind raising our vibration, Earth's vibration. So for anyone who doesn't know what the Schumann resonance is, it's Mother Nature's heartbeat. Anything that grows in nature grows at 7.83 hertz. And that's what peace feels like. Even when you listen to music that has 7.83 hertz embedded in the background of it, it makes you feel like you're vibrating in perfect harmony, in peace. It feels like peace. Well, when Mother Nature is kind of having a heart attack, that resonance rises. And there are different reasons as to why the Schumann resonance will rise. One of them can be lightning storms. It's the electric, the electric energy, I guess, that's all around us. And just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not going to affect us, right? With so many years ago, back in, I have that written down, it started changing in about 1995, where the resonance of Mother Nature's heartbeat started going up, and you could feel it on those days and then coming back down, and you feel kind of peaceful on those days. For anyone who wants to know how this affects you, well, how did you wake up? Did you wake up based in fear, feeling panicky, feeling off or twitchy? The Schumann resonance, when it spikes and it goes up in hertz, you're gonna feel it. You're not gonna necessarily see it because it's energy, but you're gonna feel it. You'll feel off or twitchy or irritable. All of those are actual signs of our bodies reacting to Mother Nature's heartbeat increasing. Our feet are what kiss the earth, and so of course we're gonna be affected by the energy that's around us, right? So we have to understand that as this COVID is scaring the crap out of everyone, what does that do to our vibrational frequency, and how does that affect Mother Earth? Because it does. It absolutely does. We may be, our consciousness may be one little tiny grain of sand on the beach, but we still make up the beach, if you know what I mean. And just like I couldn't do this, without all of you, you guys bring a unique aspect and a unique energy, a resonant frequency to this world. So everyone has their own unique energetic signature, and just like a thumbprint. And you'll feel it rise within you at certain times, where if you're not centered and you're facing a day where the Schumann resonance is at 50 or 60, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel agitated or feel like you can't sleep. So that is a little bit part and parcel of what's going on as well. Mother Earth is reacting to the energy that is happening around us. Sorry. Anyways, okay, so I wanted to talk about how the Schumann resonance affects COVID, right? Because everything is energy, including fear. Fear vibrates at a very, very, very low density. Well, COVID vibrates at a very low density. And if we don't start taking personal responsibility for our own energy, it's not going to be good, you guys. We cannot feed into the panic and fear. Fear vibrates extremely low, and so does COVID. And if you think about when we're in a state of fight or flight, what happens? Our immune system goes down. It's all of the adrenaline and the cortisol and all the stuff that actually harms our body, but puts us in a position to be able to fight or flee from what it is that we're facing. Well, if we can't even see what it is that we're scared of, right? We're going to be petrified all the time. Our ancestors, they knew what they were scared of. They had guns in their faces. You know, when you think of what they went through in their lifetime, us in our lifetime, I truly believe that this is modern warfare. And I'm going to be a little bit controversial, you guys, with this, but I'm going to say it. I believe that this is bioterrorism. I absolutely believe that this is how wars are going to be fought right now. I do think that this wasn't necessarily supposed to get out, but it did. And there is no such thing as supposed to. It happens or it doesn't, right? So we have to understand at some level, this was pre-planned so that we could go within, figure our stuff out so that we can affect that ripple of energy that will help Mother Earth. If you think about what we've even done so far by stopping and, you know, the emissions, how in LA they can actually see a blue sky, and China's starting to clear up, and the dolphins are coming back into the canals in Venice, and, you know, there's a beauty. There's a beauty in what's happening right now if you don't feed into the fear. Do not, you got to flip the switch. We can't feed into it, or else we're just going to contribute more to what is happening, right? Like I said, everything is energy, including our emotions, right? And when you think of something that causes fear, where do you feel it? Poof, you're going to feel it in your adrenals, all go through your stomach, because those lower chakras are all about your centeredness, your groundedness, standing in your power. Well, that's exactly what we need to be doing right now, is standing in our power, not feeding into the fear of this. And COVID is literally forcing us to go home, to fix our stuff, to go within. So if you think about where this virus affects us, it's in the lungs. Well, every part of our body represents a different trauma if there's disease in that area. So like I was saying earlier, you know, the liver is where anger is stored within our body. Breast cancer is usually tied to mothering issues, and the lungs is tied to grief. So if you think about it, we breathe it in, right? That's the first thing that changes when we get upset, is our vital life force energy. Well, this virus that wants to attack the epithelial cells within the lining of our lungs, think of it in terms of spiritual energy, you guys. I want you to think here for a second, because we all know that there is good and there is bad, or there is, you know, angels or evil. It's always been depicted that way. There's a huge spectrum, right? So if we think of it's a virus that isn't actually alive, and we know that. That's why I'm saying, you guys, we need to wake up. It is bioterrorism. This was created in a lab. Especially when it does not have life force energy, it takes life force energy. It needs a host in order to survive, right? So, and it attacks its host, binding to the cells, to the DNA, and destroying the proper DNA that's within your lungs. Well, I want you to think in ways of energy, something that feeds on fear, because we have to be a low vibration to get it in our body. You have to vibrate with it, right? Same thing with a cold or a flu. What happens when you're run down, you're stressed out, right? You're go, 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 go. Your immunity lowers. But when you raise your vibration, you're fine. You can be around all the sick people in the world and you're not going to get it. Why is that? It's all got to do with vibration. Everything does. And this thing vibrates really low. So us as awakening people that are awakening right now, that's the first thing that I want you to do is raise your vibration out of fear. And I'll go over how to be able to do that. But in terms of energy, it takes our life force energy, needs a host, right? Feasts on fear, spreads like wildfire. What does that sound like to you? Because to me, it sounds like pure evil. The intention is to kill, not to provide peace and nurturing and life force energy. It is to take life force energy. So if you think a bit in terms of energy, you can see what I'm getting at. So one of the greatest ways that you can raise your vibration instantly, believe it or not, it is to pray. It is to pray. Instead of having fear in something that we cannot see, let's have faith in something that we cannot see. We need to turn the switch on this, flip the switch on this. We're all being careful. We're all staying home, right? We're doing what we can to prevent the spread. But when it is creating such a fear in the masses, that's just as concerning as the virus itself, because it's promoting separation. We can't even hug each other. We're scared to hug each other, you guys. You know, we're scared to go within 2 feet or 2 meters of each other. That's fear. That's total fear-based. And we cannot feed into it. If it is not directly in front of you, I want you to only deal with what's directly in front of you. Turn the TV off and create a different reality. It's up to you to not feed into it, right? There's many different ways that we can raise our vibration. So, and I'll give you a list of it. Okay, I will read just a comment that I have in the corner. From Linda. She says, yeah, my lungs have been very interesting, especially during working out. So that, and you'll notice your emotions coming up too with it. One thing that hit me really hard at different times was grief, feeling grief. I started talking about a really traumatic event in my life, and all of a sudden I started crying, and it was like, I thought I was over this. I thought I had processed that, right? But memories do get stored in our cells. And so the greatest thing that you can do is actually breathe light into your lungs. Breathe life force energy deep inside of it, because that is where grief is stored in our lungs. When we're upset, that's the first thing that changes is our breath. And it's the one thing that we cannot do without is our vital life force energy, is our air. And right now we're scared to breathe, right? So this is where we need to ask ourselves, what are we going to sit in? Fear or faith, because it will affect your health big time. That's part and parcel of this whole thing, is for us to look within ourselves. Are we taking care of ourselves? That is part of the reason why this is all happening, right? It's hitting the vulnerable. It's hitting the people who haven't been taking very good care of themselves. It's also hitting the healthy people. But why is it hitting some and not others? I believe that we signed up for this before we even got here. Our souls knew what we were going to be taking on in this time, in this life. And how we move through this is we're living in history right now. We're creating history, right? So don't do it with fear. It's not, I can't stress enough how much we cannot sit in fear, especially as a collective. Things, that's where hoarding happens. That's where anger and finger pointing and all of that. Like, you guys, we have a choice right now to rise above and to just hunker down, clean up what we got to clean up, and get on with life, because life does go on after this. It absolutely does. So how does this affect you? Even if you don't test positive? Well, it's obvious. Our jobs, right? Our healthcare system is overrun right now. Fear, the Schumann Resonance, is on the rise. So yeah, you will feel that too, right? That has an anxiety, a depression, a twitchiness to it. There's a lot of different energies that we are being fired with right now. And it's just a matter of, are we aware of what's actually going on? Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not real. We all pay our electrical bill, even though we don't see the light turn on until we flick the light. I don't understand how it works, but I know if I pay my bill, my lights will work. Well, energy is the same way. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there, right? It's on the rise. So we need to examine what it is that needs to change in our life, because at this point, it's going to attack your weakest link. That's what evil does. It sits right in between marriages, your bank account, your job, all of that. It will provide fear like nobody's business. So that's why I'm saying we cannot feed into it. View it, but understand that you are protected at this time. You absolutely are. You're going through this for a reason, right? And one of the things that you got to do is bless the BS in your life, because it is fertilizer for your dreams. Something greater is coming. Trust me when I say that. This is a new earth that Mother Earth is birthing right now. Think about how much has changed already. Even the way our kids are learning, they're learning online. You know, the world is still turning, and we're still together, just in a different capacity, right? It's teaching us a different way of life, a better way of life, I would like to think. But it's going to take more than me. I'm just a grain of sand. It's going to take all of us to band together and to stay up here in that light. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to protect your family, how to protect your home, because it is energy, right? It really, really is. So, by the way, I just wanted to say, if you guys want to monitor the Schumann Resonance, the website that I use is disclosurenews.it. It's an Italian website that monitors it 24 hours. And there is some really funky stuff on the charts right now, if you want to go and view it yourself. So let me see, what else am I supposed to talk about with you guys? So the lung issues. Yes, grief and depression are absolutely stored within the lungs. So we got to make peace with what's upset us big time and breathe light into it, and forgiveness, because the only way to eradicate a tie to pain, it is actually through true forgiveness, right? So, and if you don't know how to forgive, always ask, always ask. There's a greater intelligence, whether you want to call it God, Buddha, Allah, ultimate energy, universe. There is something so much greater than us that has answers for you if you just ask. And I am a professional psychic medium. I didn't even introduce myself, you guys. I'm so sorry. I get nervous doing these things. I'm Patricia Monna. I am a professional psychic medium. And I can't believe I didn't introduce myself. I'm really sorry, you guys. But one of the things that that I see with this COVID thing, hold on, someone, just give me 1 second. Okay, let's get back to the lungs for a second. The minute I even said that I'm a psychic medium, I can hear all these questions coming at me from the people that are online, which is really, really weird, because that happens to me in studio, and I had no idea that that would happen to me virtually as well. So we do definitely, if you have a loved one that's passed over, they're trying to communicate as well. So I'm just going to ask them to kind of step back and just close that door a little bit so I can concentrate on what it is that I need to talk about. Okay. It's crazy how I can hear all of you guys. And I'm not talking about the people that are sending messages or anything. It's just all of a sudden, the minute I open that door, sorry guys. Okay, so let's go back to how this energy attacks the weakest link. It can mess with your marriage. And if you think about it, when you've been in quarantine for 3 weeks with your significant other, it can drive you absolutely batty. It can. Health-wise, it can put you in a state of fear, lowers your vibration, leaves you susceptible to other things, if not COVID itself. So we need to step out of that. Money, right? There's a lot of people that have lost their jobs because of this. But I got to tell you, there is a beauty in the destruction because it promotes new ideas. I guarantee you there is going to be so many new, different entrepreneurs that come out of this and different ideas. I was just reading a meme on Facebook that said that Isaac Newton figured out gravity during one of the plagues. And it's like, wow, who would have discovered that if that plague wasn't there, right? So sometimes we just need to honor the process and understand that there's more that's happening behind the scenes. Cheryl, yes, your mom is one of the ones that that is still a little, that's talking. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of close that door because it all comes flooding in and distracts me. But I'm gonna take questions afterwards. So hang on. Your inner joy, you guys, it can rob us of that if we're not centered going into this. And the weird thing is that back in like 2014, I started talking about the shift. I could feel it. I could feel it. I could feel it. There was going to be a shift in that 2020 because it had a complete wall, an end of 2019 and those 10 years, it felt completely distinctively different. To me, it didn't feel like a virus. I'm going to say that. It did feel that it would affect the globe. So what I actually picked up on globally, and I don't do a whole lot of global events or look into look into politics and things like that. I find it way easier to be able to read a person in front of me than to look at the whole globe. But one of the things that I did pick up was, I think we're going to get our butts whooped this summer and the fall with Mother Nature. Like one thing that I've noticed, and the Schumann Resonance, it does affect the geomagnetic static in the air. It does affect weather, all of that kind of stuff, right? So when there is a rise, you're going to see a lot more thunderstorms and lightning going off because that's the electricity in the air. So for me, I actually thought that there was going to be a lot of natural, unfortunately, things that were going to happen this summer and this fall. So I think it is best to just kind of hunker down for right now, to stay with our families and to just go within and take this as a moment to breathe within the sanctity of our homes, create that sacred space so it doesn't feel like a prison. You know, what do you want to do? If you're bored, go paint your house, do something, rearrange the furniture. You got to change the energy. If it feels stale, change it, sage it. And by the way, saging your place, it actually, the scientists say that it clears up to 98% of viruses and pathogens. So that would be an excellent way to be able to protect your home and cleanse your space at the same time. Yes, Courtney just wrote, she goes, yeah, earthquakes. We had one in Calgary this week. I know, I heard that. That is absolutely crazy. And I think from what I remember, it came down from like, or up from Idaho or something. It was far down in the States and the buildings were shaking. So, and this is April. So just, you guys, we need to kind of stay kind of close to home, I think, this summer and this fall. Okay, so back to the energy of all of this. We cannot allow it to destroy our homes, our families, anything like that. We have to rise above and fix whatever our weakest link is. So if there is marital issues, for example, sit down with your partner and talk to them. Actually open up and be real and tell them how you feel. And if they can't handle that, then maybe you've got choices to make, right? But the best choice that you can make right now is to find your peace with your partner. Be on the same page. You're with them going through this for a reason, right? So do not allow this to weaken anything between you guys. Rise above it. Find a way to be on the same page. This is not a time to sit in anger or fear. The things we take for granted as well, like shopping, going out, being with our friends, our family, it makes it so much more precious now, doesn't it? It makes us actually sit there and evaluate, is this where I want to be? When was the last time I told my loved ones that I love them? I make it a habit, well, other than right now, I always make it a habit of giving all my clients a hug, usually on the way in, and I'll accost them with a hug on the way out. And for me, I need that fill. I need that fill. And I can only imagine for the people that are single or don't get hugs very much, that's an energy thing, you guys. When we hug and we connect heart to heart, it actually raises your vibration. If you could see your energy when you're giving someone a hug, it becomes huge, huge. You create a bubble. I can see it because I'm trained to be able to see auras, right? So you can see a love exchange, an honest heart-to-heart love exchange. So if there's anyone in your family that needs a hug, make sure you give it to them and hold on to them that good 10, 12 seconds before you release. Let your heart open up, feed that vibration, fill it up, and then release. One of the greatest things that I do, parents, this is a really, really cool trick for kids. So when, I can't remember who it was that started it, but one of my boys would have just a massive meltdown. And it just came to me one day. I asked Spirit, how do I fix this? How do I figure out how to help this child in the middle of a meltdown? And what came to me was, hug them. Hug them hard. Put your heart next to theirs. Breathe in with them. If they're hyperventilating, you allow your breath to go next to theirs. If that's where they're going, you go there too. And slowly bring it down. Your energy, it will sync up. So as they freak out, match their breath. And then slowly pull your breath down. And you will notice that their energy dissipates just as quickly. Even better, because it's in love. You're covering them with love. And through the breath, you can calm them down. And just hold them. Just hold them until their breath comes back to normal. I have Millie in the office with me, you guys, and for anyone who knows Millie, she keeps falling asleep. So when you see my chair turn this way, I'm actually giving her a little nudge. I invited her to come and watch this because she doesn't know the internet very well. So I'm like, okay, you can come sit 2 meters away from me. But she's almost snoring. Apparently I'm boring her. So Millie, you can't snore. You are. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, so getting back into the higher vibrations, I wanted to talk about how to be able to raise up. How to be able to raise up out of this. So one of the things that we need to do is release old patterns and create new ones. We need to release finally what's no longer serving us and step out of those lower vibrations. I mean it. Even cleaning out our closet gives you a fresh new take on life. So, and well, I guess we can't donate yet, so just store it in the basement for now. But it's a great time to clean out the energy, disinfect our homes, and also our bodies, mind, body, and soul as well, because this is about a spiritual ascension at the same time. And I know some of you guys have been really feeling the effects of it. So let's talk about that. Some of the signs and symptoms of ascension and a raising of energy: nightmares, vivid dreams. I've had lots of people text me and email me about nightmares that they're having, and very vivid nightmares, and they're waking up at particular times. I got to tell you, as we move through these this time of ascension, pay attention when you're seeing a number. What time did you wake up? Did you wake up at 3:33, 4:44? Look up the meaning of the number. If you start to see master numbers like 1111, 222, or ones in a particular sequence that keep trying to get your attention, understand that that is your higher self, your subconscious, your angels and guides, whatever you want to call it, trying to get your attention, trying to give you a message so that you will remember why you're here. So start looking up and decoding the messages that the universe is sending you, because it's all over the place right now, you guys. The veil is so super, super thin that people who are naturally psychic, or even just bordering on it, it's like, poof, the lid is coming off of your intuition, and you can see so much more, feel so much more. That is happening. So pay attention to how often what you think is happening, or you think of someone and then they call. That's a resonance. You're tuning into that higher frequency, that ascension stream of hertz. So the nightmares and the vivid dreams, seeing the 1111s or the number sequences is another sign from the universe. Another one, seeing lights out of the corner of your eyes. I'm not sure how many of you guys have seen that, but I have. I've seen the little twinkles out of the corners of your eyes. Those are angels. And if you ever come to one of my classes in studio, I'll show you how to see angels, because we can actually see them with our own eyes, physical eyes. It's actually quite mind-blowing when you call on them and they show up. So even in the Bible, it says that angels are, 1,000 angels can fit on the head of a pin, right? It's quantum energy. That makes so much sense to me, because they are an energy, right? You can't see them. They're not solid. So of course they're going to show up as little tiny sperms of light out of the corners of our eyes, or even right in front of us. And the more you ask, the more you shall receive. Remember that saying? Ask and you shall receive. Well, the minute you start asking to see more and more, you're going to be blown away with how quick your reality will change. It's just, when was the last time you asked, right? Get in the habit of saying a prayer in the morning. Bless your day. Cover your family and yourself in the light and love of that Christ consciousness, or that healing energy that we are all privy to. Bring it down around you, because when you can feel the safety and security of that light that is actually shielding you from negativity, it changes the way you react to situations. You're not as freaked out, right? There's not as much of an emotional response, which keeps your body calm and your immune system high. It just makes sense. So we have to watch our emotions through this time. We cannot be feeding into the fear of this, you guys. Headaches and body aches. Lots of people with the headaches, and it'll feel almost like a band right around the third eye area. Guess what? That's because it's expanding. When the realms are wide open, our third eye can usually feel it, and you're gonna feel that band of energy, and it can feel like a pressure headache or behind the eyes. Those, believe it or not, those are part of the ascension symptoms, or the raising of vibrational frequency. Your body is attuning to it. Same thing with the ringing in the ears. One thing that I have noticed, because my ears ring when spirit is around or they have something to say. The other thing that I've noticed though is a pressure that almost goes in and out. So if anyone else has been having that, you can raise your hand. I'm not sure how you guys do that. I know on Facebook Live you can, but a lot of you guys just raised hands. Cool. Yeah. So it's the signs and the symptoms of it. But body aches as well. As our body acclimates to a higher vibrational frequency, it can cause the aches, it can cause chills, it can cause hot sweats of energy, feeling like, ugh, right? And that's because you just stepped into a higher vibration and your body felt it like heat flushing through you. Anyone who does Reiki or is a Reiki master, they'll feel their hands start to tingle when they do their little activations and their little prayer and their connection before they start. You'll feel the energy through your hands and it'll be hot and tingly. Well, that's all. As we raise our vibration, people who don't even know Reiki, their hands will start tingling if they even focus on bringing light into your hands. Everybody, I want you to try this with me, okay? I want you to feel what it is that I'm talking about. Okay, go like this. Let's warm up our centers, because we've got chakras that go all through the middle of our body, through our feet, through our hands. We got them everywhere, you guys. So let's warm them up. And what I want you to do is just take a big, deep breath of pure white light in through your nose, and just pour that white light out through your hands on the exhale. And just slowly bring your hands apart, breathing in light. Expand that light out through your hands on the exhale. Just build a ball of pure, glowing light. You'll feel like magnets, or a pulsing, or a warmth. Can you guys feel that? I know I can. I take 2 seconds to even think of my hands, and they go, whoa, let's heal, let's heal, let's heal. So that feeling that you're getting in your hands, and you see mine are already starting to get red, I can feel it as warmth. I can feel it as tingling. And so that's life force energy that we just took 2 seconds to breathe into our hands. And you can feel that. Well, guess what? That energy that you're feeling is part of your auric field, is part of your energy. You're just playing with your aura. You're just playing with your energy. And it extends out. And that's why when a person's in a bad mood, you can feel it. You don't even need to look at them or talk to them. You can just feel the energy off of them. Well, it's the same way when you breathe in light. When you take in that highest Christ consciousness energy that your body can handle, and you breathe it out through your hands, you bet your butt your hands are going to heat up, and you're going to feel it. Because I'm not special, you guys. I've just figured out how to activate it. And you guys can activate it too. You don't need to be a Reiki master to feel that energy. Now, Reiki masters or people who do work with energy, their energy is like whoosh when they do that, because they've had attunements to raise their frequency permanently up to a higher level. And that's why you'll feel them like, I don't know, like waves of power when they work on you. It's pretty cool for anyone who's never had Reiki. It's energy healing. So, okay, so that's energy, you guys. Other things that you're going to be feeling through this time: anxiety, irritability, that twitchiness, almost like restless leg syndrome, not being able to have a good night's sleep. There's all of these negatives, and I'm going to talk about the positives in a second too. But one of the things that I've noticed is emotional triggers. People seem so triggered lately, really, really triggered. And so I want you guys to stop and examine your triggers. Why do we have so many? You know, and how do we get rid of them? How do we work through them? Bring light to the pain within your body, mind, and soul, because now is the time to get it out of you. Energy is being amplified right now. When the Schumann Resonance is on the rise, when people's fear are on the rise, you know that that energy is going to be high out there. You can feel it. It's an amplification, right? Now, with that being said, energy doesn't know good or bad. It's defined by the user. It's defined by what is inside of us at all times. It is. If I'm thinking bad thoughts, I'm going to be snappy at the person in the store, right? But if I'm filled with love, I'm willing to help someone in front of me instead of just keeping walking by, right? So getting back into that state of love, it is very important right now, because whatever is inside is being amplified. So if you are an angry person or have that narcissistic energy, oh my God, you're going to be on the rampage. And you can't blame anybody but yourself, because unfortunately we are all responsible for our own emotions. No one can make us feel sad. No one can make us feel happy. We allow it, you guys. It's what we allow. No one owns you or your emotions. So take your power back, honestly. Other Ascension signs and symptoms, the sense of time speeding up. Even though we're at home, it's weird. You guys, we're on like week number 3. And considering life has basically stopped for a lot of people and everything's being put on hold, it kind of doesn't feel like that. It kind of still feels like there's actually like 20 hours in the day instead of 24. So watch the time speeding up. Again, I personally think that that has to do with the Schumann Resonance, because as that goes up, so does our level of consciousness. It changes. It changes our circadian rhythm, our brainwave states, all of that. Fatigue and extreme exhaustion, or the other way, feeling like you had the best sleep on 4 hours and you're feeling peaceful. I received an email from someone who was asking, well, I feel great. Why do I don't feel bad, but how do I deal with the fear of everyone around me? And my answer is, you don't deal with everyone's fear. You deal with your own. That is the only thing that you are in charge of. You're not in charge of other people's fear. And each one of us are going to process this at our own level of consciousness and what it is that we've been brought here to do. We're all learning specific lessons out of this, and it's gonna look differently for everyone, you guys. And that's why I say it may be a marriage over here, or a job over here, or an illness over here. Things are blowing up so that we can recreate ourselves in a much higher level of consciousness. This world wasn't really working. It was going to self-destruct if we kept going the way we did. So this is where we have to sit and think. It's almost like Mother Nature sent us to our room for us to think about what we've done. It's a time to reflect. How can I change within me? Because that's the only thing that you have personal control over 100%. We cannot control another person and how they feel. Hot flashes I discussed, needing to purge or detox. And with that being said, one of the other things that I've heard, and it's even with me, I can eat whatever I want right now and I'm not gaining any weight, which is kind of weird. And I've been craving sugars a lot more. I don't know if anyone else has been craving a lot more sugars out there, but yeah, craving a lot more sugars or those comfort foods, but yet they're not sticking to me like they should. So that's another thing. When you raise your vibration, weight can come off a lot easier. So for anyone who is struggling with weight right now is the time. Change your vibration. Lift up out of the heavy emotions, the mental barrage of emotional baggage that comes with beating ourselves up over our weight. Get rid of that. Get rid of that and focus on happy right now, more so than a treadmill or what it is that you're eating and dieting. Focus on your happy. You have to raise your vibration from the inside out in order for you to be able to let go of the baggage. I was 210 pounds walking with a cane in 2009. And that was when I was my most miserable. And I'm not saying that everyone who struggles with their weight is miserable. I'm not saying that at all. But one thing for me is that I felt lowest and my body reflected it. Right? Because the mind, body, soul is all connected. And it's just a matter of time before what you feel on the inside comes out on the outside. Where do you think wrinkles are from? Right? It's from all the stress and this. So when we don't have the stress, we're not making those faces that cause the wrinkles, right? So we got to bring ourselves back down to a state of peace. Another thing too, negative people are going to start to really get on your nerves. As you raise up in vibration, you're going to start to know notice the big gap between you and the shitty committee. Honestly, it's going to get annoying. You're going to want to turn off the TV or not talk to the people that are bringing your vibration down. Protect yourself. That is a way to protect yourself. Everybody needs to be able to cleanse and heal at this time. We shouldn't be taking on other people's stresses. So one of the greatest ways to combat that is to be mindful. If your mind races, you got to be able to calm it down. I heard the best saying in the world that totally helped me be able to change my paradigm. And it says, depressed people live in the past, anxious people live in the future, peaceful people live in the present. And that is so unbelievably true, you guys. Bring it back down to the now. If what is happening in front of you, most of the time, it's not even happening in front of us, it's happening in our heads, but our body is going to react to it. What the mind perceives, the body receives. It receives it in energy, in thought, everything it does. So start there. Start by cleaning up your thoughts. Because trust me when I say the rest is just going to fall into place. It will. It will. Start with your thoughts. So needing to let go of the old, yeah, we do. If there's anyone that you need to forgive, please do yourself a favor. Because forgiveness isn't about letting the other person off the hook. It's about taking the piss and vinegar out of your body so that you're not sitting in a state of anger and hate. Because if you think about how your body feels when we're sitting in anger and hate, what does it feel like? Ugh, it's awful. It's a horrible vibration. So if you can't forgive them physically or verbally, right? Maybe they're not here on this earth anymore. Or maybe they're not in front of you, or you just choose not to even open that door. That's okay. One of the greatest things that you can do is write them a letter. And if you want, you can burn it, mail it if you want, but burn it. Let go of it. Let go of it. Let the universe take control and let forgiveness shine through you so that you're not carrying those vibrations anymore. It's you that you're hurting. It's like swallowing poison and expecting the other person to die. It's just the most ridiculous thing, but we fall into it all the time. And then it becomes grief. Well, grief is in the lungs. You see where I'm getting at, you guys? It's all connected. We're all one. And it's a ripple effect of what's going on right now. So what to expect out of this time right now? If energy is on the rise, how can we use this for our greater good? We need to plug in. So if I were you, I'd start by a morning prayer. And it doesn't need to be anything massively special. Just close your eyes, take a big deep breath, and just ask for divine protection. Just ask for divine love to flow through you and to you. And watch what happens. It doesn't need to be special. However you want to word it. Just open your heart and feel that light come in, because it'll change you when you start protecting yourself in the light. Instead of fearing what we can't see, let's have faith in what we can't see, because we can feel it when that divine protection flows through us. Psychic senses being heightened. One thing that I have noticed is that, you guys, when I say the veil is thin, it is so thin. When I mentioned that I was a psychic medium, it literally felt like I opened the door to about 200 people who had passed away that were dying to talk. It's like, no, not that door. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to mention that. But your psychic senses are going to go through the roof. So you need to start listening to your intuition at all times. No matter what is being presented to you, feel it, feel truth. And the other thing that you can ask in your prayer is for truth to be revealed. Because there's a lot of falsehoods out there that are being thrown at us right now, and we're eating it up as truth. So it would be nice if we had a filter, a spiritual filter, to be able to feel what is of truth and what isn't. So you can ask for that. So heightened clairvoyance. Okay, so with your dreams, you guys, if you're having nightmares, figure out the symbol of it. Look it up, because I'm telling you, your subconscious is going to be telling you things. Same thing with people from the other side. Visitation, the feeling that someone's around is going to be more, because when the energy is high like this, it's like we're reaching up to them. And that's actually what mediumship is. They're way up here, we're way down here, right? Mediumship is meeting in the middle, raising up your vibration enough so that you can hear through the veil or see through the veil. But you gotta raise your vibration in order to do it, right? So don't be surprised if you feel your passed away mom or loved one standing by you in the evening or at night, or getting those vivid dreams that they are right there. Clairaudience. I know that a lot of people have also said to me that they're hearing things that aren't there. Yeah. Or it sounds like it's outside, but it's kind of inside the head. Yeah, that's clairaudience. That's you peeking through the veil and being able to hear what's going on. And when I say peeking through the veil, think of a radio station, because everything is energy, right? We need to be able, if we're vibrating at, we'll say 92.5, but we need to go up to 101.5. We're not going to be able to hear all the radio stations in between, or this one if we're resonating down here. But as we bring ourselves up, you will slowly hear all the songs on that station and be able to understand what it is that spirit is trying to tell you. It's a knowing, you guys, and you need to drop into your knowing. I mean it. Quit thinking with your head. Start feeling. This world is so disconnected from how we feel that we don't understand how to feel truth, or to feel when someone is lying to us. I can tell immediately if someone is lying to me because their energy changes. So fine tune your senses. Take this time to meditate and to ask for your energy to be lifted up, so that you can understand what it is that spirit is trying to tell you. It is much easier to hear source and your angels as you raise your vibration. One thing that I notice is that when I get in my own way, start thinking about my own stuff, or focus on anything that's making me mad, it's like the door is completely closed to me and I can't tune in. So there is something to be said, you guys, about raising your vibration. It goes for me just as much as you guys too. Notice the increase in synchronicities that are happening. You'll think of someone and then they'll call you. Science has proven that if you think of someone for 17 seconds intently, you'll pop into their head, they'll think of you. Trust me, we're all connected, and it's energy, and you can do that. We're all connected. So raise up. If there's someone who is struggling or staying in a state of fear, help to raise them up, cover them in light, in divine love and light, and they'll feel it on some etheric level. I'm telling you, they will feel it. Through this, we will begin to make new decisions that align to the new energies coming in. Trust me when I say that. The good ideas are just gonna pour in. If you're ready for them, shift out of fear. Get into that higher energy, that creative burst of love that flows through us when we step out of fear. The answers just come, they do. And you know, it's interesting because people say, if you have a problem, sleep on it. Well, the reason why they say that is every night when we go to sleep, we dip into the spirit world. And I think that that's where our dreams come from a lot of the time. It's that through that subconscious. Well, that's how spirit gets a hold of us. A lot of the time is through the subconscious, right? Different brainwave states. I can't stress enough to you guys, protect yourself and your energy by staying away from people who suck the life out of you. You guys, this is a big one, because there's a lot of people that are out there complaining right now. Well, guess what, guys? We're all in this together, and it sucks for everybody. But it can also be a time of enlightenment, a time for you to be able to just surrender to what's going on right now. Because honestly, we can't control any of it. It's happening. So let us sit in joy and peace instead of fear. How to maintain your peace and your vibration through this. So there's many different ways, you guys, that we can get through this. Many different ways to shift our way of thinking through this, and that's where it starts, because thoughts become actions, actions become our reality very easily. That's how we manifest. So sitting in a state of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations that can go through your body. It floods you with endorphins. Go there. If someone's given you something to be grateful for, or and if no one has given you something to be grateful for, find a way to initiate gratitude. Meaning, go buy that person their coffee in line behind you. Go open the door, carry someone's groceries. Find a way to feel that love, that sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the opportunity to be able to rise up and put a smile on someone's face. If you're in a bad mood, trust me when I say, do something nice for someone else and it will snap you right out of it. Totally. And you never know when you're being called to action. I mean that. So years ago, I live in Calgary, and there's a nursing home right next to Tim Hortons, kind of a few blocks away from my house. And I go to the Tim Hortons usually every morning. And on, I think it was Mondays, this happened a while ago, but every Monday I would buy someone their coffee behind me in line. And so at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm going through the drive-through and I noticed there's a car behind me, and that was it, just one other car. So I come to the window and I pay for their coffee. And so I go to the lights, and this little cute little old gentleman pulls up beside me and does a little roll down your window. So I unrolled my window, and he was crying. His eyes were beet red. And I was like, are you okay? And he says, I have to thank you. I have to thank you so much for what you just did. No one has ever, ever, ever bought me my coffee before in line. And he said, I just lost my wife at 3 a.m. this morning, and I spent the last 4 hours crying in the parking lot, not knowing how I was going to leave without her. And I asked her for a sign. I asked her for a sign that she was going to be okay and that I was going to be okay. And he goes, and then I went through the Tim Hortons because I was too tired, didn't want to drive home without a coffee. And so he's explaining this to me, and my jaw was on the floor, and I flooded with gratitude for, it was like a ripple of love that just happened between two strangers in that one moment. And I'll never forget that man as long as I live. And I bet you anything, he'll remember me too, because it was his sign. And all I did was rise. It was like, I was told, get his coffee. And that was the sign he was looking for from his wife. Spirit will use you in ways that you can't even begin to understand. You are so important here. Your role right now in this ascension that's happening, because it's happening to all of us, you guys, and how you deal with it is so important to the history of this earth. I mean it. We cannot feed into the fear. There's just no way. We have been brought here to help other people rise, to anchor in the truth, anchor in the highest vibrational frequencies, allow it to pour through us and send it out. That's what we've been here for, you guys. So gratitude, same thing with love. Massive vibration, love is. You'll feel it. Think about even teenage romance love, you know, all the little fuzzies that you get from head to toe, and you just love drunk. It literally has a term, love drunk. Flood yourself with that. Find a way to fall in love with your life again, you guys, because that is an immediate immune booster. It'll totally bring you back up here where you totally belong. Generosity. Generosity leads to gratitude. It does. Meditation and breath work. Excellent way to come back into that state of stillness, get grounded, get into the now. Breath work. If you find it hard to meditate or to shut off your brain, bring it back down to the breath and expand out. Bring it back down to the breath. Feel that light entering your lungs, burning up any darkness, and breathe out the stale energy. That simple visualization of breathing in the light and breathing out any darkness, it will shift you very quickly and bring you right back into your shoes so that you're not feeding into the fear of, oh my God, what's happening in 5 minutes from now? Who cares? It will take care of itself in 5 minutes from now. The same way tomorrow will, the same way yesterday did. You're fine. You're going to make it through this. I promise you that. Forgiveness. We talked about the power of forgiveness. Eating high vibrational foods. We know this. All the health girls out there are talking about how to eat our vitamins and everything. A big one too is getting out in the sun. You guys, the sun is a natural disinfectant. So as soon as that's out there, like I'm looking out my window right now and it's sunny, Calgarians, yay, stuff's melting here finally. It's been snowing in Calgary since September, so the sun is a much welcomed reprieve. And it's a natural disinfectant. I firmly expect the virus to start tanking come this summer because it can't live in high temperatures. Reduce or eliminate alcohol and toxins from your body. This is a big one. Alcohol, there's a reason why I teach psychic development retreats out in Sedona. And one of my number one rules is we never mix spirits with spirits. Because alcohol is a doorway that if there's negativity within you, it's going to come up and out. That's why they call it spirits, right? So be very careful how much alcohol you're consuming right now because energy is high and we are attracting that which we are like that. So if you're someone who drinks to get drunk, you're probably going to have a really bad trip on the way down and probably get a DUI. So just don't. Like, eliminate that stuff. Watch how much you're ingesting toxins into your body. Thinking positive thoughts, that's a huge one. Whenever you have negativity float through your brain, actually back up. I want you to imagine a filter on your head. That's one of the ways that I was able to change my thoughts. I visualized a filter and all of the crappy stuff would bounce off and go straight back up to the divine where it needed to go. And I would only allow positivity to flow through my mind. And it's not a false reality. It isn't that. It's learning to flip the switch and find the good in the bad. Find out why this is all happening. Sorry, someone's snoring in my corner. Anyways, we really need to be able to flip the switch and watch the energies that are around us and flowing through us. Consume high vibe music, TV, books, and movies. That's a big one. Music gets into your core. It does. It brings us back exactly where we were the moment that song came out. Right? It does. When we think of songs or we listen to songs from our childhood, where do we go in our mind? We go right back. Science, even with dementia patients, they play music from their era and they'll recite it word for word, even though they haven't spoken in years, right? Music triggers a part of our soul and it becomes a part of us, especially when lyrics get stuck in our head. So try to be listening to, not try, do. You guys, we have a choice, do. Even when it comes to in your home, put on the meditation music. Watch how the kids don't fight anymore. Feels like you're walking into a day spa when you leave that stuff on in the background. So watch what you're vibing with. Because if you're listening to Eminem, God love him. I used to love him. I still do. But like, I just don't vibe with his lyrics. I don't vibe with his pain anymore. So to me, it doesn't resonate with my soul. You know what I mean? So watch your taste in music even change. Because if you're listening to the sad country songs where stole my dog and took my brother, you know, that's what you're going to feel. You're going to feel the intention of the actual writer who wrote the song. You're going to be tuning into that vibration. That's why sad songs feel sad. That's why high vibrational songs feel good, right? So watch what you're putting into your subconscious. Your ears are channels that need light in them, not anymore dark vibrations. So change your music that you're listening to. Surrounding yourself with beauty, getting out in nature. That is a big one, a huge one. I can't stress enough how much the energy out there is changing. And when we're in nature, that also is being amplified, right? Good can be amplified just as much as negative. It all depends on who's observing it, right? It's defined by us. So get out there and breathe in the peace of nature, because the nature of the trees and the grass and all that, that's going to be magnified. It's going to smell even greater than it ever has before when you finally get out there and connect with it. So it's warming up, you guys. Winter's almost done. So, and last but not least, make sure your relationships are vibing high. That's a big one. Who you're stuck with or quarantined with, you know, try and raise them up the best that you can. Refuse to bite into any sort of negativity. because this time isn't about that. It's a time of inner reflection, getting to the core of our grief, getting rid of it, because it's no longer needed on this earth. So we need to heal big time. So I want to be able to take questions. Oh, what's next? I gotta talk about that really quick too. So when do I think that this is going to be over? Well, I think that we are going to have more restrictions coming in because those numbers keep rising. And I think that it will be closer to summer before, I think it'll be June before we start to see some of the restrictions lifted off. I think that kids are going to return to school in the fall. I would be really surprised if they don't, because I still see them learning. But as for life getting back to normal, it's going to be slow, you guys. It's not going to happen overnight. I think that we're in this for a while, and this is going to be our new reality for a bit. So this is where we need to hang in there and take care of ourselves so that we can take care of others. So I'm going to do questions now. Q&A. Let me see, question. Can I share anything about why, or can you share anything about why I procrastinate? Let me just tune into that end. Just give me 1 second. This fear, it's total fear. You got to get out of your head. The procrastination is because you're being overwhelmed with what it is that you're looking at. So how do we eat an elephant? One bite at a time. What is the lesson in all of this for our children? Let me just see how to answer live. I'd like to answer this question live. Marion Walsh, can you hear me? I'm not sure if I turned that on. Anyways, okay. Okay, Marion Walsh asks, what is the lesson in all of this for our children? Let me just see here. Give me 1 second. I think it's more of a lesson for us, you guys, even more so than kids, because we're the ones that teach them. If you're thinking of little ones, I think it's a lesson to be able to not even bring them up in sitting in fear. We have a duty right now to teach our kids love and inclusion and hand washing for sure, and social distancing, but at the same time, no judgment. How we handle this is how the kids are going to see it. So I personally think it's more of a test for us even than it is for the kids, right? Because it's going to affect each and every one of us differently. Oh, Marion, okay, yes, you can hear me. So, let me see, I'm learning about this all as well. I see my question, Marion's question on my screen. Okay, perfect. I'll try to mute my microphone. Is there a way to get what the resonance is, an app or measurement we can get? I just use disclosurenews.it. There is an app for Schumann Resonance, and all you gotta do is go into the App Store and go Schumann Resonance. Yeah, and I think there is a bunch of apps, because I do have an app for it, but I tend to look at the app doesn't make that much sense to me, so I just use that disclosurenews.it. Grief is something that I struggle with and have for nearly 3 years, so the connection to lungs for this virus and my grief is very eye-opening. It absolutely is. Think about it. That's exactly where we store it. My dad's death to me was the worst thing that ever happened in my life. And within a week of his death, I had pneumonia in both lungs, and it was bad. It was really bad. So it's funny where, well, not funny, but you know what I mean, where our trauma stays in our body. But it does. And that's why we cannot shove this stuff down. It's a time to detox it out, figure it out, whatever it looks like to you, through meditation, counseling. If you're suffering from anxiety or depression, call the 1-800 number, reach out to your loved ones. Let someone hold you up while you rest for a little bit and heal. Because God will always give you a person. This universe will never leave you alone. I mean that. Okay, sorry, I'm just reading through questions. Okay, Nancy. One second. So Nancy asks, will I be laid off permanently? I need some direction on where to go for work and if my career flying is over. Thanks, Patricia. Oh, Nancy. Yeah. It's totally okay to leave that behind. It's not quite yet. But yeah, when all of this is over, I don't see you going back there for very long if you do at all. But you have so much more to do. So just because you're going to be retiring from that, not being laid off permanently, I think that you need to retire from it and look at it like that. Because I see a whole brand new career opening up for you, Nancy. So yeah, and I'm positive you know exactly what I'm talking about, because I'm sure it's come up in readings with me before. So you're a healer, honey. You need to be getting healing. You need to be doing that. Can you repeat that website? How do you spell it? Disclosure, 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 and then news.it. What do you think about the conjunctions happening between Jupiter and Pluto today? I think there's a massive portal opening today. I do. It's 444. Even 2020 is adds up to a 4, right? So it is. We got some pretty amazing things, energy that's happening around us right now. And so it is a good day to be able to plug in to peace, because it's going to be amplified on days where the veil is very, very thin and the portal is kind of right there. It's an excellent time to be able to manifest what it is that you want, right? Don't feed into fear. Start manifesting what it is that you want. So today the energy, yeah. There's also, I think it's tonight at 8:45. There's that 1 million meditation, 1 million meditators meditation. I encourage you guys, hop online and do that. I know that I will be joining it whenever it is. I just know it's after this, and then I'll look into it. But anyways, join in and meditate today, because the veil is very thin, and it's a great day for our prayers to be heard and to set intentions that will be heard through the cosmos. Absolutely. Okay, what about things moving in your home more? Usually I don't notice, but much more in the last 2 days and feeling much heavier energy in the past 2 days. Sage your house. Sage your house. Because if it feels heavy, it is heavy. So sage your house. If it feels light, it is light. If it is clean, if it feels clean, it is clean. And I mean it, like, you can scrub your house spotless, but it still feels dirty. Sage your house. It's energy. And you just need to get it out. Get fresh new stuff pouring in. Okay. So I'm just reading some of these questions. Okay, I'm going to get to the questions. I'm going to get to the questions from the emails. Okie dokie. So Grant asked, Cheryl and I would like to ask if there's anything specific to us that we should be doing or not during this time, lifestyle, relationship-wise, or anything that we should know. Well, there's lots that we can be doing right now. everything that we covered, you know, being able to get back into that space where we're feeling standing in our power instead of in a state of fear, getting more connected with our partner, seeing them eye to eye, being able to open up if there's any issues within the relationship. You guys, just say it. Just say it. You can't expect your partner to be a mind reader. You know what I mean? So the quicker you guys can get on the same page, the better we're going to be getting through this. There is an energy to that when we collaborate instead of compete or get angry. It changes the energy. It really does, which changes the outcome, right? My question is, I'm wondering when social distancing measures will be lifted and when kids can return to school. The social distancing thing, I think that they're going to encourage us to do that for quite a while. I think it's going to be months, like possibly even going into, like they're going to encourage it, but I think that the restrictions are going to be lifted before social distancing ends. I think social distancing is kind of here to stay for the time being. I think that kids are going to return to school in the fall. I think that you're going to see a decline through the summer of the cases. And the other thing too, you guys, you got to remember it's a 98% survival rate. It attacks the people who have low immunity, lung issues, things like that. So keeping your health up is the greatest thing that you can do for yourself right now. I'm feeling cold all the time, can't seem to stay warm. Is this part of the shift? Yes, it is. It's an energy shift. So just like some people can feel tingling and warmth in their hands when we did that little exercise with the hands, some people perceive it as cold. And so it's really good that it's really good that we could feel that, because I know that when you can understand what energy feels like to you, because everyone registers it different within the body, you can understand what it is that's kind of coming at you. So the raising in frequency, raising in temperature within the body, or even lowering it, it's all how the person feels it. Each one of us is different, but even the chills, yes, that can be perceived as part of the Ascension symptoms. Also lacking the uplift of physical energy, as in being near people. I live alone with my dog. It's a funny balance because it can be too much energy being around people all the time, but I do definitely miss the energetic connection with people. I miss my hugs. I really, really, really miss hugs. So we got to find our ways to keep connected, right? This being one of them. It's awesome that you guys have joined tonight to watch this. I think we're all missing each other. How long will we be staying in isolation? I feel things start to shift in May and June is when I think it's kind of towards the end of May, June. And I think that's when we're going to start to slowly see things shift. But I have a feeling that we're still kind of on the incline. We haven't reached the peak yet, I don't believe. So it all really depends on how we're, are we still all going out and enjoying life and getting sick, or are we following the restrictions and the guidelines and doing our part? Okay. Hi, Patricia. The energy feels palatable and intense in Canmore. I am vibrating. How can I best self-protect? Yeah. So the mountains and nature absolutely has a very, very, very high vibration. And the more you get into nature, the better you're actually going to feel. So if you're vibrating and you're in Canmore and it feels really intense, breathe in the light. One of the things that I want us to do, actually, I'm going to show you how to protect yourself. Okay, guys, put your feet flat on the ground, flat on the floor. And I want you to just put your hands, palms up on your lap. And close your eyes. And just take a big, deep cleansing breath in of pure divine light, pulling it down through your body. I want you to blow out any fear. Breathing in the vibration of peace. Just allow it to move through your body and expand out. And in your mind's eye, I want you to see a grid of pure white light protection coming down around you. And in your mind's eye and in your heart, I want you to say, I am now choosing to align my own energy field to the perfect protection for me that will hold me in divine light, divine love, in order for me to do the work that is before me. Let's just breathe in that intention and magnify that protection out. Taking a big deep breath again of pure divine protective light. Pull it down all the way through your feet. And I want you to blow it out through the bottoms of your feet. Just take a moment to feel that protection that you've called upon. And it is that simple. Could you feel the shift? I did. And you're energetically protecting yourself. It's that easy. It doesn't need to be complex and complicated. And by the way, you guys, so Tuesday is a huge full moon. It's a super moon. So you're going to really feel the energy. We got the Schumann Resonance. We got the full moon. We got COVID. We're getting hammered. If we didn't learn the easy way, well, this is the universe now coming down going, wake up. Hello, wake up world. What needs to shift? So let's set some intentions on what it is that we need to let go of. I encourage you guys on the full moon this Tuesday to write down what you want to get rid of. Everything that you want to shift or that you need help in shifting, write it down. And after you're done meditating, burn it. Burn it. Let it go. And know that that has been heard. Your intentions and your prayers will be answered. What other questions can I answer here? We talk about seeing numbers. Mine for the past 6 weeks have been 444. Me too. Me too. And that's why today I was like, oh, 444. Let's do that. Let's do our class at 444. Which I know means that there are messages I need to be listening to. What is the best meditation way to open myself up, tune in, go inward to receive those messages and know that I'm fully in tune with my inner self to see or get those messages and the guidance. So there's a way for me to email you guys. After all this, I just thought of that. I'll email you my favorite frequencies, the ones that I use. To do my missing person cases, to meditate with. I'll send it to all you guys because it's like one click of an email and it goes out to 80 of you guys. This thing is so cool. So yes, I will email my favorite binaural beats and meditation tracks to you guys after this is done. How long did the signs of Ascension last? I've been feeling like I can't warm up in my body all day. Ooh, they come and go. When we're not listening, they seem to be really loud. Just get centered, get back in, get centered. Some great crystals for you to be able to work with through this time would be tourmaline for protection, obsidian also for grounding and protection, apophyllite. Apophyllite is a very high vibrational stone. Where is it? I have my piece right here. That one's apophyllite. Cavansite is my favorite rock. This little blue guy packs a punch, big time punch. I have quite the collection of this. This cavansite helps to open up those psychic senses so that you can understand exactly what spirit is trying to tell you. It helps to raise your vibrational frequency, however you want to look at it, so that you can hear better. Apophyllite, excellent. They go together. Apophyllite helps to amplify cavansite so you can feel it better, or yeah, work with it easier. But yeah, how long do the signs of ascension last? Well, it's going to keep going, my dear. We're just beginning, honestly. There's a lot of shifting that needs to happen. There's a lot of evil out in that world, and it needs to be diminished. So as light workers, we need to be able to rise, stand in our power, and watch what we are tolerating. Is anyone else hearing a vibration noise as Patricia is talking? Did anyone else hear that? Oh, okay. So I do have music going on in my studio in the background, and it's 528 hertz. And it just sounds like a tone playing in the background. So yeah, that's 528 coming at you. 528 is a vibration of love. So I just figured little boost can't hurt, right? Anything from my mom about my dad, Nancy? Let me answer that one privately for you. But yes, your mom does have a message for your dad. Okay, Janet Arnold, will my sister be okay? She works in hospitals and ultrasound. Just give me 1 second. I want to ask, does she have longer dark hair? But mind you, I don't really know if there's a way for you to answer that. Hold on. Oh, live answer. Hold on. Hi, Janet. Can you hear me? Or write back to me if you can. Okay. Yes, your sister's going to be fine, but she feels really burnt out of fear. When I tune into her body, I feel like, and I mean, most healthcare workers are running around like a chicken with their head cut off right now. They're go, 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 no sleep, no rest for the wicked. But I do see an aura of protection around her. So no, Janet, I think she's going to be just fine. But her mental, emotional, spiritual state actually kind of feels a little bit icky, or icky's not the right word, lower. So she needs to pull that up and find her peace. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. You, Sabrina, you told me last time I would meet someone in April. Did our path change because of this? Here's the thing. There is definitely two timelines that I am seeing happening right now. And we're all on the cusp of big, 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 big changes. And so it's, does it change the outcome? No. What is meant for you will always be meant for you. Could it push things back? Yes. Oh, Janet, you're the one with the longer, darker hair? Oh, then I was tuning into you, honey, not your sister. Sorry. Yeah, you got some emotional stuff that you need to clean up in there. I feel kind of bad saying this in front of everyone, so I'm trying to kind of careful how I say things, but I do like, Janet, I feel within you, like there's some grief in there that, or panic as well. Cause when I tune in, I can feel it all in the stomach and going through you. So be careful with that. Do not feed into fear right now. That is the biggest thing, but now you're protected. And I truly feel that your sister is as well. Cause I'm not seeing COVID around you or your family. So I think she's going to be just fine. My dreams have been crazy and I write them down when I wake up in the morning. How can I zoom in to the message and what I need to learn from them? Looking forward to the day I manifest everything I need to do to serve others. That's beautiful. So your dreams, how can I zoom into the message and what I need to learn from them? Dream interpretation books, asking your higher self to reveal the message behind the dream. Usually when you start asking questions in here, the answers will pop in. And watch how quickly they pop in like this, because that usually is an indication of spirit speaking to you. You know that whole ask and you shall receive? And before you will have asked, I will have already answered. That Bible verse stayed stuck in my head for the longest time. It's like, I'm asking questions all the time and I'm not hearing anything. Yes, you are. You are. You are. You're hearing it. You're feeling it. You just maybe not liking the answer, or it's not coming through. It's coming through as staticky because you don't have faith in the answer, or you don't believe that you can have the answer residing within you. But I'm telling you, your higher self already knows the answer. Think of muscle testing. And if I sit there and I lie, we all know that a lie creates a weak energy in our energetic system. If I lie and say, my name is Samantha, I can feel the lie. When I sit here and I say, my name is Patricia, same energy, it's way harder because a lie has a weak energy to it. So feel the truth. Feel it. Don't think it. Feel it. Feel it in your gut. Truth is in your gut, not in your head. Where is the trauma state in my body and what do I need to move? Let me just tune in really quick. Hang on. Okay, so for Samantha Georgeson, where is the trauma state in my body and what do I need to move? It actually feels like when I'm tuning into your body, it actually feels like your lower back, like all in the back and then wrapping around to the front. So whatever the trauma that you are referring to, it had something to do with threatening your security, threatening what you believed in, your safety. It feels physical, not just mental, emotional. So wherever there is tightness, wherever trauma has been stored in the body, start breathing light into it, you guys. That is an energy. Light is an intelligent life force energy if you call upon it. So how do you move it? Breathe that light in. Ask for divine assistance. If it's too hard to move it yourself, ask for your guardian angels, the ascended masters, God himself. Ask, and you will receive the answer and the knowing and that healing that you're longing for. Is Mother Earth's heartbeat faster because she is in healing or anxious? I personally feel like it's in labor. It feels like Mother Earth is in labor, birthing a whole new paradigm, birthing a whole new, brand new everything. Something's going down big. But the COVID virus, this was human. That was human made. That's not Mother Nature doing that. That was a human error as far as I'm concerned. It has no life force energy in it. So therefore, it has to be man-made. Okay, so Rachel Shaw. Okay, you said you did not see an end to my boyfriend and I's relationship. We broke up just as the isolation started. Is this because of the virus? It's because the virus is going to attack your weakest link. It is going to make everyone and everything heightened, what you're feeling inside heightened. So if there's any questions that are burning you, or it's just easier to attack people and to let out what is inside. That's why I'm saying, you guys, we have to clean from the inside out. Rachel, I don't believe that you guys are over. I think that this is just a molehill that you guys will get through. So no, I don't think you guys are permanently broken up. Okay. Patricia, I find it pretty interesting that at a time when the government wanted to cut spending to hospitals, schools, and social programs, that we've been shown that we need them so much. Do you think that some of this old school political stuff will change? Yeah, I think that there's a lot changing in the works right now, totally. And it is mind-blowing that the government was cutting any. I was a nurse for 13 years. Like, it is grueling. It is a calling. Your feet ache, your back hurts like you wouldn't believe, but your heart is full and you tingle from head to toe in gratitude and love every day. But if you're not a lovey-dovey person in it because it makes your soul shine, it's the hardest job you will ever do in your life, is taking care of someone's loved one. It is. Millie's gonna sneak out. She wasn't, you guys weren't supposed to see her. She's gotta go to work. She's a nurse. Love you, Mill. Bye, babe. Tennille, if I don't believe this is just about the virus, more going on behind the scenes, I'm with ya. And I'm not living in fear, and I have friends who feel the same. It is okay to be together if we're all healthy and all feel the same feeling. Okay, I personally, okay, you guys, I think that the whole social isolation thing is, yes, we got to wash our hands. We got to be careful. But the guidelines say, if you haven't been out of country, if you haven't been around anyone that's sick, are not presenting with any illnesses or symptoms, we can still have groups of up to 15. We just have to stay the 2 meters apart. Right? So no, I'm having a friend over for dinner tonight, and Jason's coming over too for dinner tonight, because I know that they've been smart. They've been in isolation. Same thing with me and my family. We haven't been around anyone. I drive to my office, I go home. Drive to my I haven't even been to the grocery store. I sent my husband in for that. So, like, as long as you know you're clean and they know they're clean, I personally think then it becomes what you're comfortable with, because the guidelines still say that as long as we are social distancing properly and taking the proper precautions, we can still even have groups of up to 15. So just saying, don't get mad at me, you guys. I'm just saying. Who do you think released the virus? Well, Wuhan. We know that. We know it came out of Wuhan. We know that. I think that Harvard has something to do with this, and the arrest of their chemistry head of department. I think that there is so much we're not being told, but this is what war looks like in our modern day. We're scared of what we can't see. It's perfect. It's bloody brilliant. Spliced together, and inside it has HIV and SARS in there. So unfortunately, I do feel, and so do doctors, that it's gonna hurt your DNA. You know, we don't know the long-term effects of what happens if you've had the virus and survived it, or, you know, gotten better from it. You don't know what it's mutated or done to the DNA. So we also need to be careful of that. Okay. A good starting podcast and then online training for entrepreneurs and working with company cultures, new ways to build. Absolutely. I think that all of these new entrepreneurial ideas are phenomenal. And I think that it's a very easy time to birth new ideas, especially for entrepreneurs. You guys, I had no idea about Zoom, and there's 83 people in this group. I had no idea that we could come together and do this. And now, even with this, I get to talk to my clients or do this with the clients that are in Italy and Ireland and Quebec and Saskatchewan and BC. Like, that to me is so cool. It's like having you right here. Awesome. Okay. Will my business still be up and running after all this, Tanya? You bet it will be. Absolutely it will be. Just things needed to shift. I want to move to a new place and I don't want to wait. I feel super stuck here and the thought of not leaving until the fall is suffocating. Do I just need to overcome that somehow, or is my gut telling me to leave anyways? Carrie, I kind of feel like you won't be stuck there until the fall, but I think you're stuck there until like July, beginning of July. So I think you find another place in June. Will it get worse before it gets better? I think it is. I think it is. I think this is it. Like millions of people have lost their jobs. It's thousands of people have lost their lives. But when you look at how many people are on this earth, right? You got to do the math on the survival rate of this. 98% or more. I think it's like 98.9% survival rate. So we got to look at the numbers. Okay. Do you have a suggestion on what types of crystals to carry throughout the day? Clear quartz is a master healing crystal. Obsidian, tourmaline, selenite. And I have the most beautiful selenite crystal bracelets. I should have been wearing mine today, but I didn't really match the outfit, so I was like, okay, I'll wear these other ones. Selenite beads. My good friend Bonnie Hamilton makes them, and I sell them for her. So anyways, selenite is the greatest purification stone there is. So yeah, carry selenite with you, or if you need a bracelet, I can hook you up. Okay, Andy Peters, you mentioned before stay home in the summer and fall with regards to weather. Can we travel within Canada? I think that we will be able to travel within Canada, but I think that it would be best to stay kind of close to home for the summer. Nancy, she says, hi, beautiful. Is it normal that things seem so calm in my head and in my soul, like everything will be exactly where it's supposed to be after all? No, that's not weird at all. That means you're plugged in. You're plugged in to the right source. I mean it. Right now, the problem is, and it's not really a problem, it's just if we're aware of it, we can work with it, is everything is being amplified. So what is inside of you is being amplified. And Nancy, I know you, I know your light, and I know you've worked very hard to get that light and maintain it. You are using your tools. You glow with a resonance. So I know that you should be feeling that peace and calm, and let that be amplified instead of fear. So no, that's not that. A lot of people just don't know how to get there. So they're feeding into the fear. But you, babe, you're an old soul. You know exactly how to get there. And that's why you're feeling that. You guys in the comments, there's a link for tonight's Million Meditators. It says it's at 8:45. How can I get centered? I feel a little silly asking this, but I have meditated for years. So Diane, one of the greatest ways to expand out your energy and to get centered. Actually, one of my good friends, Chris Dobson, showed me this years ago. I wonder if he's online watching this. Anyways, one of the greatest ways to get centered and to expand your auric field really quick is you stand here like this, and you clench your fist really hard, right? Breathe in. And as hard as you can, breathe in. As hard as you can. One more, breathe in. As hard as you can. Instantly, I can feel myself come back to my body. Instantly, I can feel myself become centered. It totally changes me even, just doing that. So yeah, breathe it in, and as hard as you can. And it will bring you back into your shoes very quickly, opening up your aura, extending it out. And the greatest thing that you can do is breathe in light while you're doing that, and then expand it out as hard as you can. And you watch how you feel. So I hope that helps. Okay. Well, okay, so Derek, I'm going to answer this question for you. So, his wife, Laura, oh, it's Laura, sorry. Laura here, feeling some major anxiety about my family, especially my dad as he works in an old folks home. Is everyone going to be okay? Also, can you tune into my body? It feels like there's some stuck energy there. Okay, hold on, let me just see. Okay, for your dad, one of the things that I want you to do is tell him to put Vicks under his nose, or else thieves oil. I'm pretty sure it's called thieves oil. That's a natural disinfectant that will naturally help to clear out the airways. So yeah, if he puts it here, that should help to keep the airways kind of disinfected. But yeah, your dad's gonna be okay. I can feel him. Weird. Okay. The one thing about your dad that I will say, if he snores loud at night, I think he's got sleep apnea, because when I scan his body, his chest actually lights up a little bit. So there's a little bit of repressed grief even within your dad, that he should really clear out, because sleep apnea hurts the heart more so than anything else. It's the heart that takes a licking when someone has sleep apnea. So if he snores, he needs to be on that list to get tested. And then to tune into your body, it feels like there's some stuck energy. 1 second. Yeah, it's in the lower. It's in your lower chakras. And that, again, it's all about safety and security and groundedness and what's happening next, So do not feed into fear. And one of the things that you can do, breathe in light, breathe in the solution, and pour out any darkness out through your feet into Mother Earth. And that energy will be raised and transmuted to the light. So just get it out of your body. But you got to breathe in that light into that area. That's why I'm saying, like, any sort of tension or anything, dissolve it in light. Just dissolve it. You guys are so welcome. I'm getting a lot of things. Is the virus related with 5G? So here's the thing. I've heard that. And one of the things that I can tell you is when I read a book or when I hear something, I can tell truth. I have a truth filter where I can feel it. So if a book is being passed off as autobiography or truth, I can feel it if the author is embellishing or lying or just not telling the truth. Well, is the virus related to 5G? Yes and no. Yes and no. Because everything is a vibration. And this 5G stuff is going to be putting out some really nasty vibrations that the human body should not be around, or shouldn't be around. Like, from what I heard, they even use hazmats to work on those things, or hazmat suits. So, but is it related to the virus? I think that, I think it's one big scare tactic. I'm not seeing the relation between putting out the 5G waves. I think that they're very toxic, and we need to find out exactly what hertz are being pumped into the air so that we know what our bodies are being fed with. But see, here's the thing. If the waves carried the same frequency as the virus did, it would actually blow up the virus. everything in life vibrates and has a unique resonant frequency. And if you think of the way doctors get rid of kidney stones, they match the vibration of the kidney stone with its own vibration. It blows up and you pee it out, right? It oscillates, blows up, and you pee it out. That's the same thing that can be done with the virus. Find the resonant frequency of the virus, and you can either make it mutate because you're feeding it energy that it needs, or you can blow it up with its own vibrational frequency. So it's interesting that this was asked, because I do have a really cool article about the vibration of COVID. And it says, like any other virus, COVID-19 has a low vibration with a closed electromagnetic circuit structure with a resonant frequency of about 5.5 hertz to 14.5 hertz. In the highest intervals, it is not active, and starting with the intervals of 25.5 hertz and above, the virus dies. This is why I'm saying we have to raise our vibrational frequency, you guys. For a person who lives with high vibrations, this is in the soul. It is no more dangerous than acute respiratory infections because the body of a healthy person vibrates at the highest frequencies, only occasionally, for various reasons, slipping into smaller vibrations. The reasons for this can be various disorders of the energy balance, like fatigue, emotional breakdown, hypothermia, chronic diseases, nervous tension, anxiety, depression. The virus in nature, which is outside the body, is not resistant. The average resonance of the Earth's total frequency is now 27.4 hertz and would therefore be destructive to the virus. But there are places where this frequency is low. For example, natural or artificially created geopathic areas such as hospitals, prisons, power lines, underground and public electric vehicles, malls, offices, etc. If the vibrations drop below 20 hertz, then the virus is very dangerous because then it's feeding it. So if you look at the different vibrations of fear and pain vibrates between 0.1 hertz to 2 hertz. Fear vibrates between 0.2 hertz to 2.2 hertz. Flashes of anger, 0.5 hertz. Anger itself, 1.4 hertz. Megalomania, 3.1 hertz. Feelings of abandonment. When you have feelings of abandonment going through your body is vibrating at 1.5 hertz. That's going to hurt us when we need 7.83. Feelings of superiority is 1.9 hertz. But here's where it gets good, you guys. But generosity is 95 hertz. Thanks is 45 hertz. Thank you very much goes from 140 hertz and above. A general feeling of unity with other people is 144 hertz, for anyone who knows what that number means. Compassion from 150 hertz and above. Love generates between 150 hertz and beyond. Unconditional, sacrificial, universal love raises your field to 205 hertz and beyond. So for millennia, the frequency of our planet was at 7.83 hertz, also called the Schumann Resonance. The physicists call it Schumann's NMR, and it is due to the lightning beat in the space between the Earth and the ionosphere, which acts as a waveguide and a resonator. A spiritually uneventful person would feel comfortable in these conditions, since the frequency of vibration and of his field of energy has the same parameters, between 7.6 hertz to 7.8 hertz. So you'd just be super relaxed. However, Schumann's frequency has recently begun to increase rapidly. Following the dynamics, January of 1995, it was at 7.83 hertz. January 2000, it went up to 9.3 hertz. January 2007 to 2009, it was 9.8 hertz. January 2011 to 2012, it was at 10 hertz. January 2013 was at 13.74 hertz. January 2014 was at 14.86 hertz. February 2014 was 14.99. April 2014 was 15.5. So as you can see, and these are old stats. Our resonant frequency is like 50 now. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. Go look up the Schumann frequency or the Schumann resonance. It will fluctuate, but it's been sitting quite high lately, and those are the days you want to watch for. So it says, even if we consider the situation from a scientific point of view, it becomes clear that a person who does not increase his vibration will soon leave the ground floor, which has evolved vibrationally and spiritually, the resonance principle, in one way or another, and neither the high positions or the accumulated capital will help you. So you don't have to be scared. You can pick up the vibrations by working with yourself and by stimulating conscious behavior. Any negative emotion will close the access to clear consciousness. So we have to clear our channels first before merging with the divine. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, Dr. JJ, anything I or my team can do to help the dental clinic or business while we are shut down? Yeah, no doubt. Just keep being awesome. Patricia will probably have a more in-depth answer. Yes, Dr. JJ, continue to be awesome. Yeah, there's a lot that you can do, but I kind of don't think that this has to do about your business. I mean that because your business is going to be fine. And I mean that. I've always seen blessings around you. And I remember predicting Hometown Dental before it was even in its inception. And it looks exactly the way I saw it. So I'm telling you, I still see you blessed moving past this. You're one of the businesses that is not meant to really change anything. I think that you need to take this time for you because I know you and you're go, 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 and then some. So I think that if anything, you need to take this time to rest. And I know I can hear you. I don't know how to sit down. I can hear you, Dr. JJ, but you need to. You need to. You and Wes, you need to be there for him. You do. He just lost someone really, really special. So if I were you, be there for him. Take that time to help him through that because you got yourself pretty rad, man. Okay. Okay. I have 3 girls starting school in the fall and have been looking at buying a second home. Is this a good time to look for property for them to move forward in their life, or will this take my finances to a level that I will not recover from? Courtney, don't buy anything just yet. Not yet. No. Just wait. Just wait. And yes, I will send out a replay for all of you guys. I continue with anxiety and depression meds, but I feel like wean off all 3 and maybe switch to CBD if needed. Can I do this? Am I strong enough? Diane, I've been there. I've been there. And it sucks coming off of antidepressants. It really does. It's tough. So you need to make sure, I know you're strong enough. And when you're off of it, you're going to realize, oh, I didn't even need that stuff. Because here's the thing with anti-anxiety pills and antidepressants, it just, it numbs the pain. It dulls the pain. So you really don't give a crap what's going on because you sleep all day. You're not in a reality that used to bother you, right? But you become numb and disconnected. And I don't know, for me, that's what I didn't like about it. And I hated being a slave to a pill. I hated that. So when it was the time for me, I weaned myself off of it. But you got to be careful with that, especially the SSRI reuptake inhibitors. You want to really slowly go down on that. You don't want to just yank yourself off of it because the withdrawals are brutal. You'll think you're going crazy. So don't do that. Just wean yourself off. But yeah, you can get off of it. It's time, especially if you've healed your shit. I mean that. You can feel light coming into you when healing is taking place. Embrace it. Phenomenal books for you guys to read. My go-to favorite is Conversations with God by Neil Donald Walsh. Phenomenal book that just has the answers that you need to hear. Another really, really good one, hold on, is this guy, Paul Selig. He's amazing. There's a book called, The Book of Love and Creation. It is so pertinent to what's going on right now, you guys. this is the Book of Truth. It's a channeled text. It is book 2 of his trilogy. Paul Selig is his name. Phenomenal, pure channel of divine Christ consciousness. You can feel it when you're in his presence. I did one of his workshops and it blew me away. So he's legit, and you can feel the energy in his books too. It's an experiential text, so you can literally feel the energy when you're reading it. So yeah, Paul Selig is pretty awesome. Okay, Rebecca, I feel the same way. My head and soul feels peaceful, but my chest feels stressed. So, okay, so there's obviously something that you need to heal in here. Your chakras here and here are wide open because you can feel it, peace in the mind, right? Peace in the third eye, peace of thought. But if you've got something here and your chest feels stressed, what? First of all, where's selenite? Selenite feels like it's going to pull that block right out of it. I'm just tuning into you really quick. It feels like grief. It feels like you're mourning. Becca, you're one of us. You're a feeler and a healer. And so, of course, you're going to feel the weight of the world on your chest right now. But it's not yours. And once you recognize that it's not yours, you can go like this. Get it off of you. And put light into this area. Just breathe it in. And exhale out. All blockages. It's all in your mind, you guys. And the clearer you can visualize that shift, the more your body is going to react to it. We can think our way into a good mood, a bad mood, an orgasm. We can think our way into anything, you guys. So what are you thinking of? Honestly, because your body, which mind perceives, the body receives. So breathing in that light, exhaling out the block. It's just stale energy. Breathe in light. And if you find it hard to, place selenite on here. I know it's hard to find selenite jewelry, but place selenite on here. Just allow that blockage to clear, and invite that divine love and light in, and let it move through your body and go where it needs to go, and then blow out the blockages and let the universe take care of the rest. It's cool how that happens. I get selenite everywhere. It's even under that chair. I don't know if you guys can see. Can you see the big chunk under my chair? Because y'all are healing whether you realize it or not just by sitting in my chair. So there, little hidden goodies all in my office. Okay, love you too, Becca. I just realized the time. Thank you guys for staying with me. Will the apartment I have for sale sell soon? Tricia, don't ask me that because I think it's a no. I'm sorry, babe. I get a fall on that. Okay, let me see. What else? Okay, Alexis Johnson. When I saw you for a reading recently, you said I felt stuck in my relationship and the only way for us to work through it was to spend more time together. But we already spent a lot of time together. Now with isolation, do you see us being able to make the shifts we needed to strengthen our relationship? Yeah, it's amazing how that happens when you're forced to examine what it is that is going on. So, which is good that you're asking these questions because you're obviously thinking about it and trying to find the solution, if that makes sense. So yeah, I do believe that it will strengthen your relationship. It's making you think on a whole different level. It is. And it will make him think on a whole different level as well. And that's the whole point of this, is to shift, right? What do we need to let go of? I'm feeling a strong pull to help the earth in a physical way, get my hands dirty. Am I on the right track? What do I do next? Yeah, Rachel, let me just answer that. Do it. Whatever you feel called to do. And that's the thing, you guys. Like I said, we each have our own individual, unique path. And we're all drawn to different things for many different reasons. We need shoemakers, so there are people who are obsessed with shoes. We need doctors and nurses, so there's people obsessed with healing people. You know what I mean? We're all needed. And so if you need to build your garden, and you're not the first person to say that. Someone else mentioned, my friend Suzanne said that that she wanted to be planting a garden through all of this and getting her hands dirty. So it's interesting. Yeah, you are on the right track. Do what you got to do. You also need to write through this. You guys, we are creating history. Take notes. Look at Anne Frank. She left us everything that she experienced. So we knew never to repeat the past. And right now what's happening, it can go one way or another. We have a choice. Let's make sure that stuff never happens again. Together, we need to raise the frequency of this world out of fear, out of war, back into love, back what we want to manifest. So yeah, Rachel, you're on the right track. Follow your heart. Violet May, do you feel that I'll find a new home on Gabriola by the end of summer? I'm not sure where Gabriola is. I don't have a clue, actually. But I'm just going to tune into that for you. So here's the thing, Violet May. If you own your home right now, well, it feels like you do. I feel like if you are planning on selling your place or moving from that, that would happen quickly. But you finding another place might be a little bit hard. I don't actually see a move until around October, November. So if you're aiming for the end of summer, I think is a little bit further than that. Sorry, just reading the questions. How can we clean our channel with meditation? Absolutely. Calling in that light, calling in that highest power. Sandy. Sandy asks, I have a commercial property on the market. Can you advise if it will move in the next 3 months? Feels like it's going to be a bit longer. I think that it feels a little bit more further out than that. So what are we in? We're in April, so May, June, July, August. No, I'm thinking like September-ish, I want to say. Not in 3 months. It feels longer than that, but less than 6. Aww. Aww. Diane Deans. Thank you. She says, you're amazing. Thank you, Patricia. Much gratitude for this session. Take good care. Stay beautiful. It saved my life. I am not imploding as I felt. Good, good. Because we're all in this together, you guys. And together, we will rise. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of these because I didn't know that this thing existed. So yay, go COVID. There's a positive for you. But I am having a full moon meditation on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So if you'd like to join, it is discounted normally. Normally my classes in studio are 25 for meditation, 45 for big talks. But this one, as you saw, was only 25. Normally it would have been 45, but also it would have been in person, you know? So I figured I'd lower it. And then same thing with my meditation. It's only gonna be 20 while we're doing this on here. But the cool thing about this, you guys, is that on Facebook, we did, Jason Slowski and I, we did 14 days of meditation every night at 7:30, and we had everyone plug in. And oh my Lord, the energy that was flowing through my body as I'm leading you guys in meditation is out of this world. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. So I really would love for you guys to join us on Tuesday, and let's get lit. Let's blast this stupid virus right off of this earth. It doesn't need to be here. We've learned our lesson. Fine. We're good now. We learned. Let's go. That's the way I look at it. Let's just blast the crap out of this thing, because it's all we can do as light workers is lend our light right now to whoever needs it and hold them up in intention, in prayer, in all of it. You're so welcome, you guys. Okay, Gabriella is off of Nanaimo, BC. it still feels a little bit more than. Joan Fisk, will I move back to Alberta this year? Yes, I'm going to answer that. Yes. Yeah, I got a yes on that. I don't know why you'd want to be honest with you. It's been bloody well snowing here since September. I know that you live in Victoria, BC somewhere. Why wouldn't you want to stay there? You got the ocean right at your back door. Like, I'd give anything to live by the ocean. Can you remind me again what true guidance feels like? Mostly heart chakra area. Yeah, it is. It feels like a knowing. It is the gentle whisper behind the big egotistical one that goes, now! And they're going, now, maybe you need to calm down. Maybe you shouldn't have reacted like that. That's usually your spirit guide and your angel. They're the quieter voice underneath the big egotistical voice. The other thing to look for when it comes to spirit guides and angels and listening for their guidance is, before you will have asked, I will have already answered. That's one thing that always stood out to me. I think I mentioned that earlier and then got ADD'd and sidetracked. But anyways, the reason why it stood out to me is, as a psychic, one thing that I noticed is before I get to the end of my question, the answer's already popped into my head. It's already there. It's kind of like saying, where are my key? Oh yeah, they're on the table. It's an instant. It's like this. It just drops in and you just know it. That's why psychologists and hypnotherapists and things like that, they'll always say, the first thing that pops into your mind, the first thing that pops into your mind, that is the one that's related to your closest truth. So that is the one that you need to be tuning into. That very first, that's usually the subconscious taking its chance to have a voice. Okay, so, sorry, too funny. Okay, so if anyone else would like to, because I know it's getting late, it's 6:15. I kept you 45 minutes extra. I'm really, really sorry, you guys. But I will try and get to your questions if you want to continue to send them here. I'll try and answer all of them. There's a lot of questions here that I'm seeing. So, and you guys, thank you. Thank you so much for doing this. This has been amazing, totally amazing. Jessica Heron, I'll just answer. Diane, no. Diane Deans, let it go. Let it go. This COVID will pick on the weakest link. And I think that things need to really, really, really shift there. And I think that you're ready to shift and your partner's not. So that becomes tough. It's like arguing with a wall when someone else doesn't want to change. So I thank you guys so much for this whole night. This was so much fun, and I hope everything worked well. I thank you so much for joining me on Zoom. And Brent Martinson, if you're still watching, thumbs up to you. Thank you so much for saving my butt and walking me through Zoom. I can't thank you guys enough. This was fun. Let's do it again. We're going to do it again. And I'm going to teach psychic development through this way, because it's a personal journey anyways. So I might as well show you guys how I got to where I am, because I'm not special. I've just figured out how to be able to tune in. So I love being able to share that with other people. So from my heart to yours, huge, massive group hugs. I love you guys, and I'm sending you a ton of love. Oh, I miss my hugs. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We will see you again. God bless.